welcome to episode 3 of A Perfect Podcast. Today I am joined again by Mr. Rob Santiago, creative mastermind, and I'm also joined by Riku Myllykoski. He is a sound engineer and he's done some music work for the game. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
All right. Well, hopefully you remember me from the first episode. I'm the studio lead and the creative director at Hypochondriac Studios, and I've been putting together the story of A Perfect Year for probably running on like 3 years now. And I work as a programmer, and I also work as a in the design, but also I work with our art director Brendan Watts, who is the host, the official presenter of the Prosopon, and we work together to along with our varied cast of 3D designers and other artists to create the surreal vision that is A Perfect Year. So we hope this podcast is just as surreal as the game. All right.
Right. Wait, how many people? Sorry, I'm Riku. By the way, how many people do you have working on your game?
We worked with about 20 students now over the course of the past 2 years, and then mainly two faculty members that oversaw the project. But then the Magic Center, we also worked with them, and they oversaw the project. And we worked with various departments across campus, such as the psychology department, the business departments, and to make this an educational experience as well. So we worked extensively with the psychology department last summer with the co-op program, where the Magic Center at the Rochester Institute of Technology awarded us 10 grand and a studio space to work for the entire summer. So during that time, we networked with the psychology professors there, and they gave us accurate, up-to-date information on the psychological aspects that we were covering, including and especially the psychopathic psyche, where you explore a world of mental illnesses that we were able to simulate using the help of the psychology department to accurately simulate the mental illnesses themselves so that players could experience what it's like to live as that person inside of a larger overarching story, which we could get into another time. But yeah.
Damn, that's pretty cool. So like your whole school's basically in on it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've definitely networked across like tons of different departments, especially because like we had to work with the 3D design students, and we worked with. We actually made this a course 2 times as a production studio course at the school. So it was both a co-op opportunity for about 20 students and also a class on 2 separate occasions. So we brought in some students from the 3D art department and collaborated with them in that class, and then also all the previous students students from the other departments and their the faculty there over the course of the production. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Riku,
Yeah,
you also
thanks a
have to
lot.
remember that RIT is a really big gaming school, so there's a ton of games going on at any given time.
Oh, so is this just like one of many at
Yeah.
your school that's going on right now?
Yep. But I would
And
venture to say it's probably the most creative and out of the box, and probably one of the bigger, probably one of the more, just the bigger ones going on at the time.
that's pretty cool. So, Rob, is this like your brainchild? Like, is this your thing that you came up with on your own, or is it like you and a group of people?
No, it's absolutely all Rob.
Yeah, I started this 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, in a class with Eloise Oizon, a professor at RIT, and it was a 2D art and animation production course, and she's just a very creative professor that really pushed us to like expand upon ideas and things like that. And during the course of that, I really challenged myself and tried to make a really intricate storyline in that class that she approved of and fostered, and that she became one of the advisors of over both summers. So during that time, I just started to the initial seed of this idea initially started with my friend who had a mental illness, and just my experiences with melding with his mind and the way it changed my own mind in just an extremely drastic way, like very quickly, especially because we were best friends, and just there was a complete change in his personality with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and some other issues. I had a lot of mental illness going on. and just our interaction at that point and the way interacting with his brain changed my brain so drastically was where I was just like, wow. And then like I just had this idea of taking it further and like gamifying that type of experience because I like thought like also then the next step was like at the Raritan Valley Community College I was taking an ethics course and studying Kantian, I can remember how to say his name, but philosophy and just his ethics and just how it like at the same time studying psychopathy in my psychology courses and just like the idea of just like wow, like I feel like this philosophy could actually help a psychopath have like a logical moral understanding that enabled them to do good, which is crazy because I actually in real life met a psychopath who had literally it literally proved that theory right that Kantian philosophy was a big influence on his ability to logically morally reason having no emotions or in the normal way.
So that's cool. So you like kind of combined your interest in psychology with your game programming, and that's what this is.
He's also a journalist as well. He was in journalism in school, so he just has like an affinity for digging deep into stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. But so yeah, that was like the starting point, just that idea of like combining minds with a psychopath and more having all these moral challenges in yourself that led to a better person or like being out of that experience was like the start. And I was like so then I was like thinking about melding minds and just thinking about cool like ideas in my head, and then I was trying to think about like perfecting humanity through that, and then I was like how could I tie this in with other things, and then I looked up the definition of a perfect number, and that's where the entire idea of 8128 a perfect year like as that storyline came from. And so it was just like okay, I could run with this, and that the 8128 was the last perfect number discovered by the ancient Greeks. So that is where a lot of the Greek imagery in the game comes from. And then at that point, we took that and used the vaporwave aesthetic that's really popular on the internet and kind of combined that as like a meta reference to the internet as a melding of minds. And like we try and tie everything in this like fractal prosoponic circle where you're constantly breaking out and discovering new connections to like the past and the future, and everything's very full circle. So that in that way, we're trying to have a holistic design philosophy that teaches our players about a lot of subjects that we have interest in.
That's really cool.
So you're looking at the screen capture there, Riku?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So is this like a dystopian type of deal, or?
Yeah,
sorta,
I was thinking of it. It's what are you gonna say, Brennan?
I was just gonna say sorta. Yeah, I mean it is like in the future, and it's sort of just like a society that's evolved in a way we never would have thought, and
Okay.
yeah, so it is sort of like a dystopian environment in that way.
Yeah, I've been like referring it to in my head as like a duotopia, where it can be whatever the player plays it as, because we want them to affect the transhumanist timeline of the experience. So this could be, it could end up being a utopia, or it could end up being a dystopia through the player's actions, pretty much. We're like saving all the data of all their choices and adding it to the astral arc, which is like an idea in the project. So yeah, basically they're trying to perfect humanity on the year 8128, and so to commemorate the discovery of the ancient Greeks' discovery of the last perfect number they discovered, which was 8128. So
and we'd like to remind everyone, if anyone's listening, that there are 4 perfect numbers, and the first 2 just so happen to be Rob's birthday.
Yeah, which weirded me out because everything with this project has been such a weird coincidence where everything just melded together that it literally feels like it was meant to be. Like that being a weird coincidence. Like the first 2 numbers are 628, and I was born on 628. Like just a ton of stuff like that.
Kickstarter available July 28th or June 28th.
Oh yeah, yep. So we're tying that into the Kickstarter. So we're gonna release our Kickstarter on June 28th, which is my birthday, to commemorate the first 2 perfect numbers, and try and tie in 2018 into 8128, things like that, and play a lot of these like online games and some pranks and some ARG games and things like that online and in person, because we have like our cast is very spread out at this point, so we have people pretty much all over, like spread out throughout the country. Riku, you're based in California right now, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So yep, and Brendan is in Rochester, New York, and I am in New Jersey, and looking to go to like take visits to New York City, and also a friend and me are collaborating to go to Europe. So for a visit. So definitely we're trying to make this like a global experience and spread the word out and just get everyone involved, all the players possible, and meld everyone's minds.
Want to do some guerrilla marketing?
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool. So you're just like getting anyone who's interested involved in this project?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to make it like a diverse network of people with various skill sets and expand the studio itself eventually into more than just a
we want
very
it to be
specific
like
game
a
design
creative studio.
Yeah, like a creative hub almost, where like everybody who's involved are like hypostatic humans, and we have like different things like getting involved in different areas of tech and transhumanism, but also interests like
And media, of course.
Audio.
Media.
What'd you say?
Media.
Oh,
of
media.
Course.
Oh, yeah. And even things like yeah, well, we won't spoil everything, but I have like a tendency to do that. Like even on the Instagram page, just spoiling massive amount of things at once. So if you don't want spoilers, be careful reading it too deep before the game, because I like explain things pretty in depth on the Instagram page.
But for those of you who want to dig in deep, there's plenty of information to do so.
Exactly. Yeah, you can reach our social media links from our website at aperfectyeargame.com.
It's up
and
on
those
the video
links to all
feed
our
here.
pages. Yeah, so feel free to check those out. But yeah, we're trying to just make this a massive flood of information in these water memory worlds that we'll be releasing to you, hopefully mainly for free, as much free as possible, including the Prosopon, which will be completely free.
So Riku, I remember it was like a year ago you helped us out a little bit on the game with our soundtrack. You want to explain a little bit about if you remember? Explain.
Oh yeah, that was like a year ago when I just like started thinking about studying audio engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just dabbling in it, just looking at stuff on the internet, learning different tricks and techniques and whatever. So I was just putting together these beats in like 2 seconds, and then I sent one to Brendan, because I think Brendan, you were working on the soundtrack as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And yeah, I think you asked me for help, or I offered my help to you, and then we put together a song.
Yeah, we had
and they were awesome.
You gave me a beat, like
thank you.
One that you had already made.
Oh yeah, that I just made it in GarageBand in like 10 seconds.
That one was awesome. We're definitely using that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we're gonna use that as like the intro song for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're definitely we have that in the trailer right now. The Holy Dido, that's up on our website, so you can definitely check that out.
That's this long ass extended trailer.
No way! And one of my songs is on there. Really?
Yeah. Yep. It's in what's it called? I'm just gonna play
this.
overlaying the whole psychopathic psyche area. Like it's just like on loop pretty much.
Okay, so it's that like 7-second loop or whatever that I sent you, or was it the other one? Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I love that track. It was sick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We got that one, and then we worked on a schizophrenia guitar track.
Yeah, where I programmed drums. I would have played them myself, but all I had was my computer. So that was kind of cool because I had to learn how to program drums so I could do that.
Well, I think the worst part about that track is my guitar recording. It just didn't sound very good.
How did you record that, just out of curiosity?
I just used, I plugged my electric guitar into I have like a couple effects pedals, so I plugged into the effects pedals and then into my USB interface, and then recorded it in Audacity, and then I did some of the, there was like a flanging effect that I used for part of it, and I just used an Audacity effect.
Right, yeah, because you had like a, was it a phaser or a flange? You just kind of played like a big chord. That was pretty cool.
we're definitely using both those tracks, and also to plug one other musician that we got to work with was Rick Scott, who made the initial song, who's a professor at RIT, who's also an audio wizard and just awesome individual. So hopefully, if we could get Rick Scott on here also too, that'd be cool for another time. But
I'd love to get
yeah,
as many people possible on this.
yeah, definitely. But Riku, do you want to tell us about like your creative process when you go? Well, you had told us about GarageBand, things like that. But I guess
Well,
like
he's evolved since then.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. So I've come pretty far, I'd like to say. So I've started. I learned how to play a few instruments because I initially I was just a drummer, and now I've started playing guitar as well.
And he's better at guitar than both of us, Rob, for sure.
oh damn,
Oh,
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
awesome.
Wunderkind
Yes.
over here.
Yeah, I'm
So,
definitely
yeah.
I'm definitely pumped to to work on this stuff over the summer, because I think we've got a lot of different areas that to explore, especially audio being a huge part of the game. With we're looking to just like have just a massive amount of music spread throughout the worlds, especially the Ocean of Agape, which is a completely sound-based level, based on the scientific concept of sonoluminescence,
Which
where
we
sound
talked about in the
creates
first
light.
episode a little bit.
Which is that?
Which, yeah, we talked a little bit about this in the first episode.
Yeah, should we cover things talked about in old episodes, or just refer back to them? Just be like, if you want to,
Well,
yeah, that one.
explain it a little bit to Riku.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So what's it called? So that one is like they have all these this underwater civilization has like these sonoluminescent sound temples that are creating light using sound in which is possible in water. So and everything is water based in the game. It's all water memory worlds. Everybody's brain has been melted down into water using DNA dissolution, which is based on actual like DNA science. What was that?
Get your phone out of here.
Sorry, that was mine.
Hey, no props. But yeah, so these temples are like doing sonic battle underwater, and every temple has a different song that is being fed into an echo chamber that's creating a non-Newtonian Venus to be like the ideal human image, which is and has to do a lot with like love and rhythm and sound, things like that. So that'll be the Ocean of Agape level, and Agape is the Greek term for unconditional love. Fun fact. But yeah, so Riku, you will be having you could just pretty much go free reign on that one, because the temples aren't supposed to have are supposed to be very distinct. So that one you could just be like, yeah, just do whatever, literally whatever you want.
That's pretty cool. I like. Is this So is this going to be like an open world type of game, or is it third person? It looks like, or
it's we want the player to be able to completely customize how they play. So it's really whatever they want it to be. Like you can see so many different types of gameplay, because you could play it like a hack and slash, like this person is playing here. They're just
the way that the game is structured, I'm kind of seeing is almost like Destiny.
What's that noise though? That like clapping noise?
I think that's in the background of mine.
Okay.
Sorry.
What is that?
We have some people cleaning up my house right now. And
I see.
Fuck.
It's
Let me
okay.
try to soundproof this room out. I don't know how professional you guys wanted this to be.
That's okay. As long as we can hear you, man. We just want to have you on. What were we
but
talking
yeah,
about?
But that's crazy. So this looks like this dude's like I saw first person view earlier and third person.
Well, yeah,
now
there's
this
a lot of
guy's
different. There's a lot of different views we're playing with, as well as characters, and there's different. You play as different characters in different points of the game. But that one we were just looking at, if I want to back it up a little bit, this guy, you can kind of tell based on his armor and how he's playing that he just kind of kills his way through, as opposed to stopping and reasoning with them.
Yeah, he's making this look a lot like Dark Souls.
Yeah, I was thinking
A
Dark
little
Souls,
bit.
like God of War style a little bit.
Yeah. So if you want to play it like that, you can just kill your way through everything. We want the player to be able to play how they want. First person, you could just see they went from third person to first person right there. It operates on the click wheel of the mouse. So, and we eventually want to work in VR with the first person aspect if possible, but for the future plans. But yeah, so this guy, this is the Shadow of the Self character made by our 3D animator Avery Adams. And you could see he's going to be shooting the blue thought bubbles, which are more for connecting with the enemy. And then time freezes and you enter hypostasis, which is a a time-based RPG where you have a certain amount of focus to stay in hypostasis, and you do like RPG tasks, either attacking it from the inside, like hacking in, or reasoning with it, and you talk to it, learn more about the story, and can meld the entity into yourself, which then changes your own stats. So you like gamble stats at that point when you're melding minds with the other internal effigies. So there's always that, like, you can see if you're in this is the psychopathic psyche right now. This is just to show the water system. This isn't showing the RPG right now, but if one of those points connected and you got it to a point of hypostasis, then time would freeze, and you basically hack into that. Every enemy has a point of view or a third eye. I don't know why this is going on so long in the trailer, but yeah, it's not. I need to recut this trailer and repost it. And also, I'm gonna ask Jade, our video editor, if she can meet this weekend. So we'll hopefully talk to her about cutting this up into a more cohesive trailer. But yeah, at this point, it just shows a little bit of every level and the just a bunch of different features, but with improper video editing at some points. But
it sounds like this is like a really ambitious type of game. Like,
Definitely.
you want to like cover a lot of different mechanics and different levels and different vibes, and that's pretty cool.
Well, also, like, remember, it is episodic, so we're hoping to have the first episode, which would be the psychopath psyche. A lot of this is sort of like concept for other stuff.
Okay, so kind of episodic in the same way that like Telltale games are, or
Sort of. So basically, our business model is did you ever play Destiny at all?
yeah,
So do you remember how there was like that hub ship?
yeah,
That was sort of almost like the social multiplayer aspect of the game. So that's sort
Okay.
of what the free aspect of our game is going to be. That's like the Prosopon, the ship that you're on, where you can sort of like just talk to everybody and do the fight club and interact with other players, and then from there
explore planets.
you can buy episodes, which like the first episode would be the psychopath psyche, and each episode is a different psyche that you meld with.
And they teach you
Okay.
about a different science. As you can see, 7 episodic psychedelic sci-fi experiences. We're aiming for 7, and it also, well, they're split up into 4 celestial seasons. So, yeah, the 4 celestial seasons of the perfect year. And every time we move to a new season, which would be the first 2 episodes, would be the psychopathic psyche and tech heaven. So once we release those, then when it'll be the next season, we release the first 2 for free, and like that's for certain that we'll do it that way, and then see what other aspects. Just make everything more gradual, and also we make things very open source. So actually, one of our coders was aiming to make. He's in the process of making a forum that is going to be open sourced and like submitted to, say, Unreal Engine marketplace for free, so that other studios don't have to sit there and make their own forum thing. Like we did the work, use it to make other experiences, and we're looking to make as much of that as possible whenever we like as legally possible to be open source and free. So yeah, so that's a lot of the idea. We're looking to make this a very open-ended multiplayer, like crowdsourced, made by the people. The people's brains are melded into the experience and shape the experience itself. It's meant to be like a very experimental, open-minded project as to what we hope to accomplish. And we just are putting our all into it and seeing what comes out. And that's pretty much how this entire thing is going, just like stringing ideas together as it goes.
yeah. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of anything quite like this before, so that's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, how soon would you expect like the first part of this to be released?
We're hoping to have something playable. I mean, it all really depends on funding, so it really depends on how well the Kickstarter does.
Exactly. Because as you can see, we have all the systems in their place, but what we need money now is for the glue to tie all these elements together and polish them. We need to work on the UI and connecting.
Pretty much all the artsy bits. We have to do all of like all of the storyline and all of the music and the UI elements, and really just polishing it. Yeah, like you said, and making it seem like, the AAA title it is, as well as adding in, polishing some of the mechanics as well. So there's going to be some coding involved.
Yeah, but we have so much of the code in place that it's I'm feeling really comfortable with that aspect because we have the RPG system doing its thing. It's just a matter of one aspect we have to still do is connect it so that the blue thought bubble when hitting a third eye point triggers the RPG correctly. But we have it where right now you could walk into the enemy and it would trigger the RPG battle, and that's the only element that's disconnected at this point from making the code structure pretty much complete. We have it where your decisions have like your dialogue decisions in the RPG battle. Can you go back to the RPG battle just to show it on the screen? I think it was like at 8 minutes or something, or yep, right there, 8:20. But yeah, the RPG system, like you can see, the UI is not pretty. It's not cohesive. It's not consistent with the other visuals. Right. But you can see that the code all works.
Up. We just have to implement it.
So what we're showing there is you can ruin, reason, refocus, or remedy, and those are 4 different actions you could do while inside the Hypostasis RPG. So ruin would be you hacking into the player's mind, and they can attack back. That, like, you could just see that there's a little bullet hell where they had their mental defenses activated and they attacked you. So you have to watch out for that too. It's like a gamble to go inside the other player's mind, but the reward is much higher. That's how you gain your stats, and almost like a Persona RPG experience. That's how you change and evolve. So you have to decide what entities you're going to be melding to. Otherwise, you're going to I mean, it's definitely going to limit you in terms of the story because you won't be learning a lot of the story through the dialogue. And that's the RPG UI idea where like the reasoning is you have the dialogue system pops up and you have a certain amount of time to pick options. And if you agree with it, if you like meld it into yourself, you can assimilate with that internal effigy and it becomes part of you and part of your stats. So that's how you kind of, like I said, it showed in another scene the stat pool where all your choices move, not only your character and not only affect the world around you. Because if you're destroying and killing everything inside of a psyche, it becomes more hostile to you. So we have it where there's in the one RPG section you can see the bar at the top, the assimilation meter, and so your choices not only affect your internal stats, the world around you, but then we also are, through the dialogue system, able to save the choices that the player makes, and that affects the overall story of the game, because we could add that to what we're referring to in the story as the astral arc that comes out of Sopan's mouth and decides the future course of humanity. So that's all being saved from all the players' decisions once this is online. And then we could store those easily because we have it affecting the stats, so the number output is there. And so we just need to just save them and then have the decisions affect storylines as the Celestial seasons come out. So really a lot of the benefits from being an early joiner in this project, or joining into the project early, is that you have more active input into the episodes as they occur, because the choices in, say, the first season, the first 2 Water Memory Worlds or Ego Eggs episodes, however they're referred, you could refer to them either way. But so when those 2 are released, then the next season starts, the second Celestial season starts. Like I don't know, we have like names for each of them based on like spring, winter, summer, things like that. So then the first season becomes free, and the second season is being formed in front of the player's eyes. So like that's kind of the idea behind the episodic content. It allows us to it also allows us to improve the entire experience as we go. So hopefully even the players who go back and play the earlier episodes for free will have a more polished experience, because we'll have evolved as a studio and as a project at that point. So that's one of the perks of making it episodic also.
So is it kind of like you're basically adjusting the game based on like player feedback and just the way they play it?
So it's kind of like a social experiment. We really want to see what people do with it and then like modify it that way.
That's very cool.
Thank you. But yeah, I feel like we covered a lot of ideas from the project. Yeah, this solid So, how long we been talking so far?
About 30 minutes.
Nice. Covered a lot of ground, 30 minutes. But yeah, and also we're looking to like I said before, work with VR as we go. And one cool feature we definitely want to work on is getting it so every player has a strata statue, which is the Greek statue their mind is water memory is poured into. It's like their psychic cyborg. You walk around on the ship and you explore other planets with your friends. That's your social life aspect. And we want the player to be able to scan themselves in, and then their statue look like them, and then possibly alter their statue to represent their idealized self, as is referred to in the game. And so in that way, the player's pitting their body into the game, and then through their decisions, pitting their mind into the game. And in that way, almost realizing the experiment as an idea digitally, like through the players playing. Like all these players will actually be melding their minds together and exchanging ideas and getting people to think about transhumanist ideas in the future and how our decisions and ourselves affect the transhumanist timeline of all of humanity.
That's really cool.
Hey, thank you very much.
I don't even like fully understand exactly what you're saying. I just have to see it for myself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you won't understand it until you can sit there and play it and like read through the hand-selected dialogue that we've created, you know?
Yeah.
But, so we do have future plans for this podcast, and when I mean future, I mean short term. I mean, like, within this podcast, we're going to be playing a game, and I don't want to reveal the name of this game yet, because
Yes.
I feel like this game is probably the one we're compared to the most.
Definitely.
And I think it
I
makes
think
sense
even
just for
like
us
I
to-
compared it.
What's that?
I think even I like made the comparison when you mentioned it earlier.
Did you? Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of like when you told me what it
Yeah,
was.
no, because Riku actually didn't even know that this podcast was for the game. I just said, "Hey, Riku, you want to come on a podcast?" He's like, "All right," you know. So
I would have looked at a lot more of the
So
game stuff.
I told him what game we were playing, and I was like, "Have you heard of it? Have you played it?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, I've heard of it before, but isn't it kind of like that game that you and your friend are making?" And I was like, yeah, that's exactly why we're playing it, and that's who we're talking to.
I think we get like compared to a ton of projects though, because of like the variation in the gameplay.
Yeah, because there's so much going on. There's a lot of different games that like make up what we are.
Yeah, so pretty much anytime I hear a comparison to any project, I'm like, yes.
Well, I think like your project is kind of like aspects of your project are like the entirety of other projects. You know, like we said that one part of the game and the way that one guy was playing it was like Dark Souls, but then the rest of the game like is nothing like Dark Souls from what I could tell. Like then there was some other bit where there were like cars driving in like a desert or something like that.
Yeah, and like the Bus to Bus Fight Club, we want to make like a fight night type thing where the like you control your swings and it does active damage to the statues until they break and all your water memory pours out and gets filtered back in the Persopon into a new statue. But yeah, that's like gonna be like a
where was that Fight Club
guess
footage
fighting
at in the video?
Oh yeah, there was. It was in earlier.
It's earlier.
Yep, earlier.
Even
Still
earlier.
early. Right before there. You want to show them zoom? You want to show the fly in on that, and also the. Can you go back a little bit? Yeah, right there. Here's some strata statues with their moving marble.
Yeah, so this is
and
inside of that Persopon. Okay, yeah, here's the Fight Club.
The internet's lagging a little bit. It doesn't lag during the trailer, but yeah, here's the when your statue breaks, you can see that guy just took a big hit. So he's like moving marble.
I think
got
that's your
cracked.
join me lagging because I'm good on my ends and I've got the recording, so I think we're all good.
Nice, cool.
Yeah, I can't really see what's going on. It's just kind of all blocky for me.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on here.
True. Oh, this is us presenting at the Imagine RT Festival.
Here, I'll actually just pull that up on my computer and just watch.
Nice. But yeah, basically you're immortal on the ship and you can't die. And when your strata statue cracks, you're filtered back into the Persopon, which is a giant water filtration, like clockwork spaceship that runs on like the numerology of the ideas inside the ship. and expels like the water memory waste from what doesn't make it through the mind melds in the cognitive dissonance chambers, and Cogdish Jam, yeah. And then decides the future course of humanity by the astral arc that comes out of the Prosopon's mouth, so that like guides where humanity's gonna go. When they're gonna go places. They're gonna
and let me tell you, they're going places.
Hey.
So you checking that out, Riku?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
How bad really is the quality on your guys' end?
Mine's just lagging a little bit.
And Riku's like, it's like unwatchable for you?
Mine, there was like literally, there was nothing playing on mine.
Oh, maybe you need to restart, join me or something.
Maybe.
I forget.
I think it's fine though. I'm just watching the video right now as it is like on
hopefully you can see it when we play game.
Nice. I think it's worth mentioning right now that I'm drinking the most disgusting drink I've ever had in my life. Like,
what is it?
It's raw vegan meal, like 2 tea bags, turmeric, liquid aminos, which is like a healthy soy sauce alternative. What's it called? I don't know if I said turmeric, black pepper, cayenne pepper, just like literally everything that I could find. Because the reason I threw everything in here was because the liquid aminos were so salty and just like I couldn't handle it when because I poured too much in here. So then I was pouring everything else to try and balance it out, and now it's just a disgusting green goop that like I could barely drink.
Oh my god, Rob. This is what he does. You should see Rob's salads. They're nasty.
I was gonna say, I feel like you know me and I could like eat anything, right?
Yeah.
But this is giving me a problem.
He'll Rob will make a salad, he'll go up to the fridge, he'll have a bowl, and then he'll just like grab stuff. Just throw it in.
It did not work this time. I feel like I'm drinking out of Shrek's swamp right now. It's bad.
Well, are you?
That was the one he like farted in, right? Where he was like,
"Oh God, you're right."
Doing the jacuzzi thing.
Why'd you tell me that? Now this is even worse.
He farted.
Thank you for letting me know what I'm getting into, at least though. Here we go.
Yeah, so just for reference, these are both 2 good friends of mine, and I've been wanting them to meet forever, and it finally happened.
Yes, it's happening live on the podcast. Here we go. Yeah, nice to meet you, Riku. You seem like a boss, and you make awesome music. So, bam, bam, yo.
Okay, sorry about that, technical difficulties. This is really not the game we were trying to play.
No, this is it.
This was it all along. This gets compared to your new game.
I was embarrassed. Hey, I was embarrassed.
Everyone's all like, "Oh, perfect year." Oh, like that reminds me of Shellshockers.
Yeah, so I guess the second half of this
great.
is just going to be a shit show.
That's fine. That's how it's gonna be probably the whole time. Like wait, Brendan, were you just here when we were talking about? Yeah, you were just here about the AI trying to take us out. Like they had to do like something. They weren't gonna just let it happen. They were like, we're not gonna let this go according to plan. Bam, glitch, gotcha. Break your whole code.
So I'm eating chicken.
They ain't
and
broken it, though, somehow.
And let's play some Shellshockers. Can you see this, Riku? Are you watching?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. My name?
Eggy boy.
You're repping the game right now, nice. Yeah. Wait, 8128. 8128 though, a perfect egg.
I don't know if I have enough.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just take the spaces out.
Yeah, no spaces, no spaces. This is great. And you'll have enough room for the colon now too. This is great.
No.
No. What? Counts colon as 2 because there's 2 dots? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm sure that was their logic.
That's whack.
Dude, that was their logic.
Nope. That one's 2 eggs. Nope.
It's got 2 dots.
This already looks great though. This is the new James Bond film, this guy.
Damn. He represents peace while holding a rifle.
Daniel Craig just got approved for another movie, so I guess we're seeing the trailer for the first time. Wow.
Is it a bit more? What the fuck? Is this like a first-person shooter?
Mm-hmm. Where you
It's
play
just
as
straight
an
up
egg.
Goldeneye. Goldeneye with eggs. Golden egg.
Golden
Sounds
egg.
delicious.
Oh, look, it has all these egg puns. They got scrambled and cracked and fried.
Mm-hmm.
This is all actually a big tie-in to our
Oh,
Eagle
shit.
Egg episodes, of course.
Good shot there, Brendan.
Not really. Not really.
I've been playing this game a lot at work when I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, I don't work a whole lot either at work.
Ah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what have you been up to recently, Riku?
I have been at school and I've been working quite a bit, and that takes up all of my time. And I'm trying to find others. Like the only reason I have time today is because I just decided to not go to class today.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, it was one of those things. Because if I went today, I'm gonna spend all day tomorrow at work, school, and then I'm working the entire weekend.
Yeah. So you
And-
just wanted some time for yourself.
At least one day.
Do
Yeah.
something fun. Watch your boy Brendo play some Shellshock.
Hello.
That was exactly what I had in mind.
What are you on the phone?
I think I got dropped out.
What's this stasis game?
You got dropped out of what? Can you not hear us?
Oh,
We can hear you, Riku. I guess you just can't hear us.
yo,
Wait, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Something happened.
Yo, we need a hacker from CSI who can type at light speed to fight off these AI right now. They're clearly.
No, we got to get 2 people on that keyboard. Hack faster.
Yo,
Ooh.
I
I've
love
never seen
that.
that in
This
CSI
is like
episode.
this is like
Yeah,
the
isn't
only
that like where
browser
2
first
people
person
are
shooter
typing?
that I know of.
Set up the firewalls. So what does that mean? to
Hey, I
you?
got that kill.
Is this like free for all right now? Oh no,
No,
you're on
this is
blue
Teams.
team. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, I have Steam up. I've been watching a Steam screen. I was like, I thought you switched to Steam. I was like, oh, he stopped playing. That's why I was talking about that game. I was like, what's this game stasis? We can check that out later. But...
Ooh. Yeah, so this
Oh.
game, like the game never ends. So all you're trying to do is just get the best streak you can. So all that's
Oh, that's
shown,
fun.
all that's shown over on the side is the streak.
That's fun.
So my
I
best
like that you
overall
can just
streak
join
is
us never ending.
my best overall streak is like 20 something.
You wrecked 20 something fools.
Yeah, without dying.
Good for you.
I always use the rifle snipes.
This game is too gory for me. I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
You know, Riku, you know what I would honestly do?
What would you honestly do?
I would honestly go out and buy a 360 and a copy of Halo Reach at some point in my life so that you and I could play Forge again.
Oh,
You
That's
could get an Xbox One, and I think it's on there, and then we can do it.
I don't want Xbox One. It's too expensive. I
Well,
wouldn't
fine.
use it. I'm a PC master race now.
do you have a card?
I'm not a card carrying PC master racer, no.
Oh, that's fair. So you're not in like kicking and screaming. You're not gonna be able to use that at the coffee shop. Got a video club card.
Did I tell you about the one time when we did a graphic design workshop with the entire class? And, oh, Stevie.
I thought that was Riku like
Just a
reacting
second.
to what you said.
No, we did a graphic design workshop, and the lady running it like gave me so much shit about my PC. She's like, "Aren't you in art? Like, shouldn't you have a Mac?" I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, I can
I'm
run
happy.
all the same programs exactly the same. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's funny. She like straight up like was it in class? Did she like she was aiming to like publicly embarrass you?
Yeah, there's literally a bunch of all my classmates around.
It's like, lady, do you even art?
I want to
Quit. Oh, you're changing. You're changing the game. Do you always play as this piece top hat? Egg?
Yeah, and usually I have the light blue skin because I didn't want this to be a racial thing.
Robin's egg blue. I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's the only one that wasn't like suggestive of a race.
That was frustrating. Sorry about that. So, what happened? Oh, you got killed by a phase guy, dude. Those dudes know how to game.
Oh, you're right. Is that a crew? Yeah, you're right.
It's a famous Call of Duty clan that everyone makes fun of because they're so famous. And they're a Call of Duty clan.
Yeah, the spawning in this game is really broken.
Like a broken egg. Oh god, this is gonna be. All right.
Yo, Rob's got all the yolks.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Bam. I was just at a Perkins today. I almost passed out in like a plate of Perkins breakfast stuff. Like
Perkins.
My grandma had eggs, so I could have face planted in hers. Remember I was talking about that crazy hypochondriac attack?
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you about when I thought I inhaled the carrot and I was reading that thing and I passed out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What?
that was great.
Rob's a hardcore hypochondriac. He'll give himself panic attacks.
Like I won't even have to be scared. I won't even think like this was a good instance. I wasn't even scared. My body was just like, nope, you're going down right now. And I was like, what? So I inhale a carrot and I just start reading what could happen if you inhale food. And it's like, it could get caught in your blah, blah, blah. You get an infection, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, just from reading it, my body all of a sudden was like, you going down. Like I kind of like still felt the carrot in my throat. And I guess it was like freaking out or something. So I was like, I felt it coming on and I was like, oh shit. So I go upstairs to my roommate at that point, and I was like, I knocked on the door and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm having a panic attack right now or if I'm like choking or what. I just need you to watch me. And next thing, then I'm like, and then he's like, all right. And then I'm just like, everything goes pitch black as I'm like right at that point, and I'm like, yo, I can't see anything right now. Like I'm explaining it calmly to him, like I can't see anything. It's complete blackness right now. And the next thing I remember, I just wake up on the floor. And I have no idea where I am. I just remember being like mildly annoyed at somebody and just waking up and just looking at the floor and being like, come on. And then I'm like, wait, where am I? And then my roommate's like, you just passed out for like almost a minute.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was like, you were twitching and just like, it was pretty crazy. And then it just stopped. And then that was it.
So you had like a seizure basically from the carrot inhale? A seizure, but minus the seizing, or no, a seizure with the seizing, but never mind. Fuck it.
I don't even know. I'm finished trying to make sense of the human body. This thing's insane.
Does all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh damn! Look at these eggs go. Popping up. Is that a That wouldn't be a Trailer Park Boys character, right? Brendan,
What?
have you watched all of Trailer Park Boys?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys introduced me to that show. That show's crazy. Bonkers.
I met one of my friends from high school the other day. I was walking out of CVS and I ran into him, and he started telling me about how he and his friends are starting like a sketch comedy group or something like that.
Oh, you told me about this a long time ago.
Yeah, it was just the dumbest shit. Because at first I was kind of excited for him, like, oh, cool, like, you know, that sounds awesome. And then he started telling me about it, and then once he told me the title of it, I knew it was just a load of shit.
What was it?
The title, he's like, oh, the show's gonna be like a combination of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Trailer Park Boys. And it's gonna be called It's Always Simmering in Santee.
What?
I'm like, isn't that like too similar to the other show? Like,
Yeah, like I could. At first, I was like, okay, I can see the similarities. See another show in that style, and then the name, I was like, no, you can't. You don't want to do that.
I don't even know what that means. Like Santee is just some fucking place in
Yeah, I was confused.
California.
I thought I was missing something. Like it might be a good tactic because I straight up was like racking my brain for what it could mean. I was like, Santee, huh? Like, it sounds like a really good tea, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's basically like, oh, it's always callous in Chicago.
Exactly. Yep, you just nailed it.
It's like, what does that even mean? It means nothing, except all I know is that you're trying to like imitate another show. And that's,
Exactly.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
yeah. It's also, you know,
Yeah.
plagiarism and stuff.
True. But what's it called? Oh shit. Oh yeah, that's just inviting attacks though. That's like come at me. Like compare our show. Do it.
It's like, hey, you want to hear my new prog rock band, Wrench?
What was it called?
Wrench.
Wrench, like Tool.
Yeah. Yo, you could pull that off. You might be able to make that happen. That took me a second. I was like, then I got it. Then I was like, yep, yeah, I could do it.
What about Queen Azure?
What?
Give me
Queen
on that one.
Azure.
It's like King Crimson.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
Or you know,
Between the immolation and fire.
Is that between the buried and me, or? Yo,
the flawed square.
this
Through the fire and flames.
nice. But these could definitely work as band. I feel like it's a lot easier to do as band names for some reason. Like I feel like those would all pass somehow. That was ridiculous.
I think Queen Azure was actually like not even that shitty.
True, right?
Because I didn't know what you were talking about. Like, and then you said King Crimson. Like, okay, like I get that it's just like the opposite, but you know.
Yeah,
It
you should pull
works.
these off. Or you could make those all song titles on your album.
Queen Azure. This is our song that sounds like King Crimson. It's called Queen Azure.
That'd be interesting for an album.
God
Like,
damn. There we go.
go through a string of names and change them slightly and do something in that style.
That would be cool.
That'd be a good musical exercise. Like, flex.
I kind of done that for Tool. Like, I wrote a song that I thought Tool would come up with. Then I put it on the Tool subreddit, and they were all pretty good.
Hey,
And I was like, thank you.
Aw,
I feel
thank
like
you.
I feel like Tool has probably really discerning fans too. So in fact,
Oh, I'm
they
sure.
really got it as a compliment.
Oh yeah.
Was that a humble brag, Brendan?
What, because I'm
You're
one
like,
of them.
yeah, you're like, I'm sure they are.
I happen
True.
to be
Fucking
one of
kick your
them.
ass over.
Hey. Classic.
Kick your ass.
Yeah, I was just reading,
Yeah.
I was just reading the interview with him describing lateralis. It's pretty crazy. Yo, do you think we're helping carrying the torch of what he was talking about when he wished he went farther with the Fibonacci sequence? Because we're definitely gonna be talking about that. So,
I don't
let's get Maynard on this podcast.
know. Dude, can you imagine if we got Maynard
There's
on
enough
this podcast?
numerology and like esotericism here where he might be interested.
This freaking guy.
Get him.
There we go.
We're also
there's a
looking
kill.
to collaborate with. Do you know the vaporwave? Or he's like classified as a vaporwave musician, but One
my
O
God.
Tricks Point Never.
Oh my god.
No, I don't know who that is. Wait, what's Vaporwave? I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's like more of a. I don't like. There's like that's the aesthetic
Spacey
with
electronic, lo-fi stuff.
Oh, is that the thing that people like study too?
Yeah, beats to study too. Yeah.
But yeah, he's a really good composer. Like I wouldn't even just classify him as that. Like he's all over the place. But we talked to his music manager. So he's like one of the pioneers of what got considered vaporwave. Apparently, like that's like part of the legend of vaporwave.
You saw how we were using so much pink and stuff in all of our photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like part of the vaporwave aesthetic.
Yeah, that's like a lot of
And
the
the
prosopons.
statues.
Yeah, a lot of the prosopon is like the visuals on prosopon specifically are in reference to vaporwave and like the future and the internet and transhumanism and stuff. But yeah, so we got in touch with One O Tricks Point Never's music manager at I think I can't remember what the label is off the head. It might be Warped. That might have been what the album was off of that we discussed with him about. But
You guys see how I'm
they-
bouncing right now? Oh, I guess I just died. But...
But yeah, we discussed with the music manager, and they sent me to a couple people, and I discussed with them for a while. And they said if we can cover the copyright licensing costs on the songs that I wanted to use in the thing, like I want to use one of his classic albums is R+7, and I want to use a couple tracks from that in the game. Like that was the initial, like in the 2D animation class where this whole thing started. The song I used was "Boring Angel" off R+7. And that was like the trailer song initially, but we weren't able to use it anymore. So like, and there's a couple other sections that I've from the album that I'd like to use for like the battle music and replays and things like that. And I think hopefully One Tricks Point Ever is still interested. We're gonna reconnect with them soon and have that be part of the Kickstarter. If like have that be an incentive to say like if we get these amount of funds, then you know here's like I was just gonna. The only thing is I have to ask permission to post an email. I don't know about the legal aspects about that. If I can just post the actual email from the music manager and be like, here it is, like here's the form that they sent about copyright licensing stuff, and it depends partially on the current popularity of the musician. So I feel like definitely One of Tricks Point Ever has gotten pretty popular. He scored Good Times with which was like
What was it, Rob?
I can't think, but he scored Good Times, and he worked with collaborated with FKA Twigs. FKA Twigs. Yeah, so he's worked with her and a lot of other people recently. So he's very open to collaboration, and he likes to work with really obscure internet artists to make these really strange music videos. So, which are some of them are really out there, like really like very definitely you can't play them. Some of them that I've seen on TV or anything like. They get pretty explicit.
Oh, they're all on YouTube though?
Actually, the one I'm referencing to is not on YouTube, but it's like basically a lot of dark images from the internet, so you could imagine where that can go. But yeah,
Some
and trying to
Three
get
Guys
off
One
music
Hammer
that-
shit.
I can go pretty much anywhere.
So yeah, he's it seems like he's pretty open to experimentation. So I can't like it would make complete sense for him to be interested in like an experimental project like this. Like yeah, I'll make some crazy shit for this little part right here. Like so hopefully this collaboration will continue to pull And also our one musician studied is like has studied like experimental audio design at like a prestigious German music conservatory, and just definitely I'm gonna try and share like his website of just his like digital soundscapes because they're just completely ridiculous. So like very like the song that he made for our thing is much less abstract than his usual work. It's a lot of like sound experimentation and like rhythm experimentation, things like that. And he used a lot of those techniques that he learned to produce like the beats and things like that and the rhythms for the initial song trailer. So,
wait, what kind of rhythms and techniques do you like know any by name?
No, I wouldn't know. But he's also just really awesome. Like just
He's just
like,
fucking awesome, man.
Like seriously, he's definitely one of my favorite professors. Like I had him for a media design course, and he was just a complete like a boss. He would just walk in and be like he would just like give everybody like food or whatever, and just be like, hey, like he was the chillest guy, and yeah, he ended up being an advisor on the project the first summer and making music for the title, and he still wants to collaborate. He recently emailed me asking about the state of the project. He was busy pursuing a different he was pursuing a personal quest. So
A quest?
yeah, I don't, like yeah, but so he's
There's no
be
fucking
figured out,
melee in this game.
especially-
It's ridiculous.
especially with funding for the project, will help it just oil all the wheels on the project in general. But he's definitely still connected and he's really interested in like sci-fi and experimental games also, which is awesome. So he's giving me really good like book suggestions. I think The Golden Age is the name of the title. It's like this I read some of it, and it was crazy. It's like this dream symposium in the future, and it's like just basically just nonstop spewing of sci-fi concepts in like having to do with dreams. So it's really cool, and I was like, that was a really solid recommendation. And he's just a very interesting character. So it's definitely going to be exciting to work with him again this summer.
That sounds cool. So he's only made the one song, the title song for you guys?
No, he also made the puzzle music, which I didn't get to use in the trailer. I'll put that in during the puzzle section. I need to do more editing on that. But he would send me like a bunch of drafts with like slightly different beats and stuff, and then be like, what do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? And we'd like narrow it down and generally form a song in that process. So it like took a while to do it, but we were really happy with the tracks that came out, because he'd be like, it was like a gradual building on different track concepts, like I'm sure we'll be doing, and then I'd be like, yeah, make it like do the voice, like Greek statue voices, and then he threw that in there. So he definitely is willing to work with us to make sure we get what we want, and it's a quality product. So another one of our many amazing teammates we've worked with. I mean, we could talk about Gavin and his mastery of an Unreal Engine.
Oh, Gavin's awesome.
Yeah, Gavin's just an amazing Unreal Engine developer. Just super, just like you could. I remember like sometimes I would go in and I'd be like, "Yo, Gavin, you think you could like get this camera system? Like, I just had an idea." And he's like, yeah, I'll try that." Like a couple hours, like, "You mean like this?" And it'd be done. I'd be like, "Yeah." That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, Gavin's awesome. We recommended him to, where was that, the Rochester Light and Sound Festival.
Mm-hmm.
To the real developers that were working on a crazy like body motion suit, where you put it on, and you can like feel the game. Like if you get shot in the game, you would feel it on your vest type thing. So it was like a crazy VR.
Yeah, it had like haptic feedback.
Kind of like in Ready Player One.
That's really cool.
You guys see that movie?
No, I haven't.
No.
My mom keeps telling me to watch it. I'm like, what the fuck?
There was a thing kind of like that in that. I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, I was explaining this entire game to this really interesting guy on the bus ride back from Jersey one time, and he mentioned that he was like, "So you're making Ready Player One like a reality, pretty much?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I hope so. Whatever. Like, I guess." But yeah, I'm not familiar with. I know it's a book also, and one thing I thought was interesting, because initially I had said that I wanted to make like a some type of thing where we could get players to put their assets into the game and have them live in the experience type thing. And a teammate had said that that was going to cause too many legal issues or something. And now I'm thinking of like a Spore-like character
What about like
creation
VR chat?
experience. Yeah, so yeah, I
Where
think now
you,
that
like,
now
you
that
port in your own 3D model, and like that's your player.
yeah, and I think now some projects have actually done that, and so now it's clearly possible. But I remember when I said it, my team was like, "You can't do that." But yeah, so we're looking to do something like that for especially one level, like the one Ego Egg episode. I want to be populated by character creations specifically, and have like a Spore creation system. But I remember that when they were talking about the workings of the movie, I saw an article on what's it called? Them trying, because in the movie, do they like use a lot of? Is it like pretty much VR chat in the movie, pretty much?
Pretty much.
That's
So,
what.
like,
Yeah, that's.
I think they put on like a VR thing and they just play in that. But then some other people, I don't know. It was a very inconsistent movie, honestly. Like at some points, like some of the dudes have like whole treadmills that they're like running around on, and that's how they play the game. And I don't even know. It was kind of, looking back on it, kind of a dumb movie, but.
Yeah, that's weird. They didn't even set up like the consistent rules of how the game was actually played. Like you'd figure that'd be the one consistent thing.
Yeah, like everyone had the VR thing, but then other people had like treadmills, and then other people had like little jackets that they wore, where if you got shot, or not jackets, but like suits, that if you got shot, it would like show where you got shot, and then you would feel something there.
Oh, okay.
And then you're kind of like, but why would you want that if everyone else doesn't have it? Like, why would I want to feel like I got shot when everyone else is just like?
Yeah, I definitely want to feel like I got like actually. That would suck if it like tased you right there.
Yeah.
Masochist DLC or something.
Lil Pickle.
Lil Pickle just like Tommy Pickle's little brother just destroyed you.
And that dill pickle.
Yeah.
Dill Pickles.
He's probably like 40 right now. He's probably like, God,
Rugrats all run down.
I'm never gonna live. Never gonna live down the Rugrats.
Oh no.
I straight up might watch that.
Oh, that did no
sounds
damage.
like it's such a better idea than the last one they did.
Well, all run down.
Yeah, I would straight up watch that. That can make a good Always Sunny Trailer Park Boys spin-off type feel. That'd be great.
Always Sunny Trailer Park Boys.
Featuring the Rugrats cast.
Fucking Lil Pickle.
That's Dill's grown-up drug dealer name. What up? What you need? I'm Lil Pickle.
I'm Lil
Got a little
Pickle, you
pickle
know what I'm
tattooed on his
saying?
arm.
That's not even Egg K47. It's not even clever.
Yeah, I know.
Where's
The
that guy?
shotgun, it's a dozen gauge shotgun.
See, that's good.
I like it.
It's kind of like the M16 is the Egg 16 or some shit.
Oh, they better. You better call them
There
up
isn't
now.
an M. There's only 3 guns.
Yo, you
What is
gotta
it?
call them.
It's the AK, the AK, the shotgun, and the sniper.
Why is Rayman wielding your AK? Are you Rayman just massacring these eggs? Egg genocide is
Fucking
cool.
Uncle
No
Osama.
genocide- No genocide is cool.
Did you just say genocide is cool?
No, I said no genocide is cool.
Oh, okay.
No excuses. No matter if they're eggs or what.
Fucking hey. People keep stealing my kales.
So wait, how long have we been doing this at this point?
What?
This whole chat thing? Or this podcast?
Well, we've got about 30 minutes of this, and then we've got about 40 minutes to 50 minutes of usable stuff from the other thing.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I have to get going pretty
You
soon.
have to run out?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna go. I have a bunch of other stuff to do that I need to get ready. I'm gonna go work on the website and see if I can fix that up, and then just do a bunch of other work for the night. So I think this was a solid sesh, though. Thanks a lot for showing up, Riku. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We should definitely do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except with better, microphone settings on my end and less noise going on in my house and that type of stuff.
no problems. Make good background
It's a learning
music.
process.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just gonna get going. So it was nice. I'll hit me up when you guys are doing it again, and I'll see if I can get
Absolutely.
some time.
Hey,
Thanks,
sounds
Riku.
great.
All right. It's nice meeting you, Rob.
Hey, thank you, same. Have a perfect year, fellow hypostatic human. Sorry,
Ah.
I got it.
Thanks
gotta
for
wrap
joining us on episode 3, guys.
Oh, we didn't do a cringe. We didn't do a cringe alert. We need our soundboard. We'll get
See
that
you next
for next
time.
episode too.
Peace.